It's 94.7 Blair Radio and BlairRadio.com. Our local guest segments brought to us by Turnkey Nerds, 402-426-NERD. We have business owner, a local individual, and a senator for our area. It is Ben Hansen joining us today. Thank you for coming in and taking a little bit of time out of your busy schedule.
Yep. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So we are how far into this session so far?
Oh, let's see here. We started the first week in January now. Oh, geez, we're probably about 2 months in,
Yeah, 2
maybe
months
now.
in,
We're just getting about 2 months. It feels like 2 years.
Yeah, how does it?
Yeah, so 2 months we've been through.
Okay.
We got another till like the second week in June.
So this year is the long session?
Yes, 90-day session.
90-day session.
Not 90 calendar days, but
right, but
business
90 days, business days. And so but that means that everybody's trying to crank a lot of things through in those 90 days.
Yes, yeah. We had over 820 bills introduced this year.
So you have introduction, then you have then it has to go through committees and things like that before it can get to the next phase.
Yeah, and so that's what makes Nebraska a little unique. We're a unicameral. No other state has a unicameral, so we just have senators, 49 senators. We don't have a House and a legislature. And then each bill that gets introduced has a hearing.
Yeah.
And so that's unique.
It's a lot of hearings then.
Yes. And so that's what takes a lot of time here. And so it's hard to plan them out because you don't know sometimes if a hearing is going to go half an hour or if it's going to go 3 hours. It all depends on who shows up to testify, right?
Right.
So trying to plan all that out and trying to structure it so then we're done. A hearing's got to be done, I think, by the second week of March.
Okay. So you're coming up on that really
Yes.
quick.
Yeah.
So.
Second or third week. But yeah, so like one of the committees I'm on, business and labor, I think they had like almost 40 bills go to their committee, and they have 3 days to hear all those. And so we were there. I think we started at 1 o'clock and we got done like 9:30. I think we were hearing 12 bills. Yeah,
12 bills, and so when you're talking business days, you're just not talking 9 to 5. You're talking days.
Yes, yeah. And then once hearings are over, because of the amount of time that's being spent on frivolous stuff right now, which we can get into later.
Yeah.
Once we start getting on the floor, and it'll probably like about April, we'll probably start going into nights then, maybe till 9 o'clock p.m.
And
Yeah,
so,
almost every night.
Because you want to be able to give everybody the opportunity to have their say and
and
to
also
really thoroughly know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you have to structure them a certain way, but you also want to try to get as many people in to have their voice heard as you can, right?
Right.
And so, like in HHS, I'm the chair of the Health and Human Services Committee, which is the biggest committee, has I think the most amount of employees. It spends the most amount of taxpayer money, and so we have a lot of bills that go towards the HHS committee, and so. Two of the big bills we heard this year was abortion, the heartbeat bill, and the trans youth bill. And so there's a bill that was introduced by Senator Kauth that would make it illegal for a minor to have transgender surgery or puberty blockers, right? And so, of course, two big socially, culturally, significant bills brought a lot of people. I've never seen so many people in the Capitol before my entire life.
And is there any middle ground on any of this?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's the tribalism at its best here.
So no matter what, you're going to make somebody mad.
Oh yeah. People are gonna love you or hate you, right? And so I have to structure that whole meeting. So I have to get state patrol involved and clerk's office and try to structure all that kind of stuff, and without going until 3 o'clock in the morning. And so, but making sure as many people can have their voice heard in as fair a manner as we can, right? So I think as being a chair of a committee, you have to be kind of middle of the road best you can. So, but we got through those two, and those are pretty rough.
Okay.
But we still got more to go yet.
And so once it gets past this point, then the bills still have to go somewhere from there before.
Yeah. Well, they have to get out of the committee.
Right.
And so once we hear them, and so the committee gets all together, and we decide, okay, are we going to vote on it, and how's the vote's going to go? So it has to get out of committee, the votes to get out of committee, and then if it has time, it'll get on the floor. I mean, right now, if it's not prioritized, each senator has a priority they can pick.
Right.
If it's not prioritized, it's not probably going to get on the floor.
Yeah.
And so, like we just heard, Senator Brewer's priority bill, which is constitutional carry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I've actually had people from other states call me up and say, hey, what's going on with this thing? So.
Yep. He's been working on that one for about 6 years.
Yeah.
We've had it on the floor multiple times. I'm a co-sponsor of it on it, and him and I have been working closely on this one. And it actually, for the first time, got past general file.
Wow.
And so, the first round of debate.
Yep.
And so it's very telling what happens in general file, what's going to happen in the next two rounds of debate. And it needed 33 votes to break the filibuster. We talked about it for 8 hours. And they got 36 votes. So that's pretty good, actually. So that's a good sign that's going to go through the next two rounds of debate.
Okay.
And they'll be in the law.
All right. Well, we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about what really you guys are looking at, because 90 days and you have a lot to get done. And, of course, trying to do what's best for the state as well. It's weighing a lot on you, isn't it?
Yeah, I still have my hair. I haven't pulled it all out yet,
Okay.
so I'm doing pretty good. Yeah.
Good for you.